I can't think the last time I thought, can we change anybody? I mean, the topic of which we've been talking about the other day, how can I change my partner? Do I really have the power to change someone else? If I do have the power to change someone else, am I allowed? Is it okay to invade someone else's life, private life? I mean, God created them whoever they are, and all of a sudden I just want to change the other person. Why do I want to change them? To satisfy myself? To say, you know what, she or he is matching me now, and therefore I'm happy and satisfied. How about that poor person? What do you think, Doctor?
So it's an interesting, I mean, you brought a lot of dimensions.
Well, there you go. Well, that's us. Right?
This is all loaded. So there are different ways to change your partner. You can actually change your partner.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, switch them out. Next.
So yeah, but I mean, changing someone, as you said, you mentioned it's coming with why, right? First of all, it's why do you want to change your partner? You know what I mean? In that beginning sense, because I think it comes from it stems from you, right? It stems from where you are at and what you're looking for. What are your expectations? Why is it not being met? Is it a real expectation and that's why you're looking for it in your partner? Or, I mean, even given, nobody's perfect, right? Nobody's perfect. But what am I looking for? What am I looking for that I am not getting? And does my partner actually have the capacity to do what I'm asking? You know what I mean?
But what if your partner is not doing things that you really like? I mean, what if your partner already misbehaving, let's say, in one way or another, taking supplements, psychedelics, etc., etc., then that change is inevitable. Otherwise, separation will happen. Don't you think so, Tricia?
Well, I think it's a very interesting topic. It's a very big topic, I have to say.
It's huge.
Because we don't really consciously see that we're wanting to change them. We're just not happy with what they're doing.
I like it.
But people do actually say, I wish my partner would change and do something else.
But I mean, there are so many layers, as I said. So, I mean, there's a lot of relationship stuff that doesn't consciously say, I want you to change. We're not even aware that we're wanting them to change. We just don't like what they're doing.
People don't verbalize it, I want you to change, but they do.
Of course they do. And that's why it's a big topic, because it can go into many different conversations and situations. But if I'm just initially not happy with the way the dishwasher's packed, for instance, I mean, I know that's trivial and I'm only using it as an example, but
that's an important example.
It's a deal breaker for me, to be honest. That dishwasher has to be done properly. No, I'm kidding, but what I mean is it's an indication of whether we're on the same page. A lot of it is, are we on the same page? I have a couple who've been seeing me recently who, on their wedding day, the wife found out that her husband was an alcoholic.
Oh,
on her wedding day.
What happened before?
Well, he hid it. He hid it pretty well.
Oh, he hid it.
And they weren't living together very much. And she had to decide in that very moment.
So that woman's sixth sense did not work, did it?
Well,
no, but sometimes, I mean, it's the old build up to it.
They have a culture where there's alcohol in their relationship.
Or was she wearing the pink glasses, you know?
No, they have a culture where their alcohol is welcome into their relationship, so they socialised a lot. But she wasn't aware of his dependency because that was hidden. That was hidden, the morning drinking, the afternoon drinking, the hidden bottles, things like that. And they didn't live together, so she didn't see that side of him. And so therefore, she wanted him to change, right? And you'd think that that's like quite natural and quite logical, but he doesn't want to change. So what happens then? So then it's a break. Because you're free. You can be an alcoholic if that's what you really need. I can't help you with that. There are specialists.
How long they might go for break?
It's totally up to them. I mean, it's a personal decision. But so that's a very extreme example, and I've gone yet again to the extreme. But you know, on a daily basis, what do we call unhappy with? You know, what are we looking at that we're unhappy with? Is it the shoes on the floor? Is it the clothes on the floor? Is it the dishes in the sink? Is it the dog that's not fed? Is it the children aren't supervised properly? I mean, what is it that we're not happy with? And what is compromisable? I mean, what is able to be negotiated in that couple so that those things can be tweaked? Or is it a flat, I'm like this? we're talking about religion in a sense.
I'm flat like this. This is absolutely stubborn behavior from one person to go
Well,
against
it's like
the
changing
other person.
someone's religion in a way. It's like, I don't like the way you are. I want you to be like this for me. Well,
But the reality is people change naturally over time, and no relationship. If
We
you
all
expect-
change, actually. We
Exactly,
all
right?
change, yeah.
Everyone changes whether they recognize it or not, and that's where in a relationship you have two people changing in that model, right? So and they will go through changes at different times. So how are you, I mean, it's a lot of change, that's just the reality. So how are you balancing that, and how are you recognizing the other person? Are you recognizing your own changes as well, right?
completely.
Right? It's a
Because you
lot
can get
happening.
through your marriage for a while, or your relationship, and you've gone through some significant internal transformational changes, and the other partner wants you back, the old you
Right.
back, you know.
And is it that, did I fall in love with somebody who doesn't exist anymore? Or, what aspects are we actually telling ourselves? Because what we tell ourselves is what matters. Because if we're looking, see, our brain just has the capacity to see what we have already told it to see. So if we're not looking for something, we can't see it, and you can't unsee it in that sense, right? So it's like, if you are tuned into something, so say I mentioned, don't look at anything red, right? What are you going to do? You're going to look
Red.
at everything that's
That's
red.
exactly-
Yes, because in order to not do it, you have to suppress doing it. But the thing is also, well, go on, continue. I interrupted you.
Yeah, no, it's fine. So my point is that if you focus and you're just looking in one dimension, and you're looking at one thing, and you're expecting this, say, to continue for the rest of your marriage, but you haven't actually seen how this other person has blossomed maybe in another way, or maybe they're just going through a difficult time. Have I even recognized that what has happened, that change that happened, is because of a difficult time? Maybe I did not do my best to support this person through whatever they were struggling with,
Yes, I think that we see what we believe.
Right.
What we believe we're
Right.
going to see, and if we don't believe it,
Exactly.
we're not going to see it.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
and I think there's a lot to be said about different businesses. My business, your business, God's business, or the universe's business.
Yeah.
And your business is really who you are, and what you like and what you don't like, and how you operate, and whether you change or not, whether you're growing or not, whether you're evolving or not. I mean, you either repeat or evolve, right? So that's your business. How you go about your life, what you want to do in life, your goals, your ambitions, that's really your business. My business is the same, but it's mine. And they really don't cross over, because that is called an invasion of space. That's me telling you what I think your business should be, what I think you should be doing for your own
What if
good.
it is a point of improvement? What if I see something you're doing wrong? Your partner, let's say, he or she saying, you know what, my partner is doing something wrong. And don't I have the right to stop you? Because if I don't, then separation is inevitable. It's going to happen. I think we should talk to each other. I think we should complete each other. I think we should add to each other.
Well,
I come from a space of this doesn't work for me, this isn't working for me, what does it mean for you? Is it really important for you? And then I make a decision on that.
for me,
based
I
on
think
that.
it's more about, first is awareness. So maybe the person isn't really aware of how deep this problem is and how much it affects other people around them. Maybe they just totally lack that sense of awareness. So by bringing it up in conversation, and I really do believe it's about the timing of the conversation as well. Some people who are really deep-rooted in whatever it is they're doing, and their partner wants them to change, that's going to be a very difficult mindset.
But there are ways. I mean, there are courses, books,
No, but
self-help
But it all
books.
depends on the person. If the person is willing to accept help, you can't just go about saying, I'm going to change him, my mission is to change.
So the
you know?
example Teresa gave us, the guy is alcoholic even before marriage. She
Right.
didn't discover for some
Right.
reason. She discovered later on, or on the marriage day. Well, this behavior is going to crack their marriage for sure, because she is not accepting it anyway.
That's right,
That's
and
the
they
thing.
split.
Exactly.
And they split.
Yeah.
The result, here you go.
So
This is a life example we've
But
done.
another thing is, why do we try to get blood out of a stone? Relationships may not be forever. Why do we expect relationships
And it
to
can
always
be
be forever?
forever.
And why do we expect this, the pressure of marriage to say, well, we should be together forever because we're married, when it's not working?
But there's
It's
a flip
really not
side,
working.
I think, there is a flip side. And sometimes and that's the thing, it depends on who you marry. I think that's always the most important choice in life, right? Who you marry. Because even if people go through rough times and people do wrong things, everyone has the capacity to do wrong, and that's one thing I think we all understand. So we should not be judging our partner in that sense, thinking that we will do no wrong. You know, I think that also creates some sort of animosity, and I don't think that's healthy in any relationship when you pin the other person as the enemy, right? And
all the time.
Exactly.
All the time.
Exactly. And it comes out your verbal communication, your non-verbal communication, all of that makes the other person feel isolated. Now, if you
this is unannounced war inside the house, which will damage the marriage
it's
anyway.
A subconscious
and if you have kids,
war,
it's
exactly.
even worse.
Exactly.
It's an internal war with me first that I throw onto you.
Exactly.
And if it's not reciprocated, though, I mean, you can have a level of tolerance which is higher than your partner in some cases, because of your upbringing, your childhood, what you've had to, you know, if your mother said to you, I'm going to the bank, just sit in the car, and 4 hours later she comes back, you're going to be taught to be very patient, you know, and so
4 hours.
Yeah, who knows? Or I'll pick you up after school and it's dark, you know. So, you know, all of a sudden you start
to run late.
You have a different tolerance for people being late because you've been brought into that world. Whereas someone else who's been picked up on time and never made to wait in the car will absolutely not have that. So you're coming in with different...
That's the beauty of relationships, right? That people don't fully grasp, right? Especially in the early parts of relationship, in the honeymoon stage, people don't get to see.
All the hormones are going crazy and I can't see anything except you.
Right.
That's why I said about the pink glasses.
Yeah,
and you see everything perfect in your partner.
Exactly.
But,
I think you've got to give it about 8 years before you commit.
Goodness, man.
I'm kidding.
No, but nothing works.
And then even.
So every 8 years, another partner.
Give it get as much information as you can. No, I'm truly kidding.
It really depends, right? And it depends on the connection. And remember one episode we had done why we choose somebody, right?
Yeah.
So that is the most important thing. And I think if you always hold on to your why, it would make it easier as the relationship progresses and the relationship changes, you know? Because even that why, once you have a why...
Now you said two words. I'm sorry to interrupt here, but you said two different words. Changes and improves. Improves means getting better.
Right.
Changes, we don't know. It might change to positive outcomes or negative outcomes.
Well, everybody would view it differently. So, for example, if we want our husband to say, you need to start washing dishes every night...
And he hasn't done it for the last 15 years.
And he hasn't done it. So then, for you, you would think that's an improvement. For him, he would think it's, I'm going in the wrong direction in this relationship.
I'm now the dishwasher.
You know, so it really depends, again, on the perception and the person. So you will be on two different levels. You're not going to be on the same level all the time,
even if you're getting on, you're at two different levels.
Exactly.
You're coming from two different perspectives and two different...
Correct.
You can go to the movies and see the two of you see a different movie, you know, and yet you've seen the same film.
Exactly.
It's all perspective and it's all timing and it's all, you know, a commitment to wanting to be together in the same situation, in the same relationship, you know, because to want to change someone means I'm not happy with you the way you are, and that's not going to work.
If we talk about improvement, like what Abby was saying, like we want to get better, we want to help this person get better.
Not one perspective.
Well, you can offer.
Both of you.
You can offer
the
help.
whole family improves.
Right. So if the whole exactly, but that is something that has to be, again, the language and how things are done in the family needs to bring that.
Absolutely.
Because you cannot just do it. You know, it's not a one-man show dictating everything, right?
Yes, exactly.
The most you can do for yourself, one, is that you have to change your own way of understanding, your own level of understanding and your approach to the environment. And I think everyone has a responsibility in a home or in a marriage to manage the environment, right? We are all responsible, we all contribute to that environment. So if we provide a supportive environment where positive
then we're
change
going to
can
flourish.
Happen.
Yes.
Exactly.
And I set by example. I mean, I'd like to teach through example. So I'm not going to say to my children, you know, get off your screens and by the way, don't talk to me, I'm busy on YouTube. You know, you set through you set example.
I had this client who came to us here in the center, and she wanted to change her partner. So my first question was to her, where were you before? Because this behavior, which she discovered later on in after marriage, was honestly with him from day one.
Right.
But she thought, you know what, I'm going to change him afterwards, after he is entangled with me with full love. And that theory of hers didn't work.
That's a setup to fail.
Exactly.
So many people,
And many women do that.
So
That's
many
what
people
we're talking
go
about.
into-
We're talking about
Yes.
society.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I told her, there's so many people thinking exactly the way you think.
Yes.
well, yeah, and this is also confused sometimes with the belief that love will change him.
people.
Change him.
Exactly.
Love will
exactly.
change this situation. Love will bring them around.
So
well,
basing your whole marriage on one emotion.
And yeah, exactly.
Love.
And love,
But
what
love
is love
changes.
anyway,
Exactly.
right?
We spoke
And
about
yeah,
it
we did
on
at
one of
other
our
episodes, exactly.
Yeah.
And too much of anything is not good anyway. You cannot over love somebody to make them do something good. That doesn't
Over love, that's
yeah.
not.
You know what I mean? Yeah, you can't over love either. You know what I mean? And you can't under love and over love. It just has to be that right balance. But love should come from a place of acceptance. Like I am accepting this person for who he or she is, right?
and I can still leave them. I can still love them,
Exactly.
accept them, and leave them if it
Or-
doesn't work for me.
Or I could love them in my space and give them my time because my tolerance is high. I have the patience and I have the understanding and I have complete self-awareness and self-confidence that I can still be me in this relationship while they go through
Yeah,
whatever they're going
Completely.
through.
You're in your business, they're in
Exactly.
theirs,
Right.
and neither the twain shall meet. Because for me to go into my partner's business and say, you know, don't do this and don't do this, and I think this should be
Exactly.
better, and
That's
you should
not your
you should
job.
get a bachelor's degree, or you should get a master's degree, or you should be doing something different, or you should be earning more money, or whatever. You go and talk to your boss, go and do this, telling them what to do all the time. Which,
He will say,
well, no, he might not. He might say, yeah, and not do any of it because it's overwhelming, and he feels like a failure to be in that position in the first place, and then to be told what to do, and then not to be able to do it. So you're setting yourselves up for failing. It's like if I grow vegetables and you grow flowers, who's wrong?
nobody.
No. So
Right.
you know the point is we're different. We have different ambitions, different goals,
But
different.
we're both farming something.
And we are both respectful of each other's differences rather than wanting to change each other to fit in. Now, if they are a deal breaker in the values, as you all said, choosing your partner from the word go, and that comes back to seeing.
Right.
So you either believe that they're the right person.
Right, but then you see, the thing is too, as I said, the changes happen. So sometimes that person that you knew before, you've seen them go through things that make them actually change and go in the wrong direction.
Better or
right?
worse.
Better or worse, exactly. Could be better or worse. But are do you have that capacity? Because again, the change will happen again, and that's the thing. But it's just how long, right? It's how long it will take for that person to work through
But
whatever
don't you
they're
have the
working through.
right, as a partner, as a close partner, don't you have the right to stop the person and say, listen, you're doing something wrong here, and
Yes.
if you keep doing that thing, whether it's a drinking or not doing your tasks or etc., our relationship is going to be affected.
And you have the right to say
And then
it. I
separation
think.
is inevitable, it's going to happen right
But
down
that's
the
the
road.
thing, so
and I don't want to reach there.
I use the phrase.
Therefore,
yeah.
something must be done.
Agreed.
But if you keep breathing over his neck every day and want him to change,
Yes.
then as Teresa said, this is overwhelming. He might say yeah, but he might not do any of it.
Exactly.
Well, the reason
For
why
me-
he's not doing it,
Right.
there's underlying reasons why he's not doing it in the first place. And
Embedded reasons,
I'm
yeah.
doing by demanding that he does do it, is open up those reasons why he's not doing it. Because it's not because he doesn't care about me that he's not doing it, for instance. It's because of some other reason. There's something else holding him back. Maybe.
Shouldn't I know as a partner?
Well, you can't know everything, and sometimes it's hidden to the person who's living
themselves, exactly. They're not aware of what
But if
they
I'm
need to do.
open-minded,
Yeah.
open communication, and open heart with my partner, and I don't face the fear of what might be coming from my partner, I might open up.
That's the thing. So it's again forming that safe space.
Might.
Yeah, might, right? But it's that safe space. But the thing is, sometimes we expect too much from the other person, right? We naturally do it because we have our own way of thinking and how we would handle the situation. Whereas the other person might just lack that self-awareness and lack the whether it's upbringing,
and the
whether it's
personal
whatever
responsibility.
it is. Exactly, and they're just not there yet.
Yeah, I mean, one example that's really relevant is social media. Right, in couples, you've got people who are saying, oh, he liked her photo and it broke my... I can't even believe we're using that language. I mean, you know, in my day, he liked, I got a thumbs up, I got a... It's really a different world, isn't it? But, you know, to be on someone else's social media or someone watching someone's Instagram or following someone or whatever can be really offensive to the other person. And yet, what's driving all of that for the person who's, you know, glued to the social media, liking, following, waiting to see if their pictures are liked, is a need for validation, for attention, for connection, for feeling important. That's much bigger than the conversation that's happening about, I don't like you being on your phone so much, doing that. It's buried.
It's a different thing when this world now that we're living is very different, because even for kids, the younger ones, why they're trying to move them away from screens, if we have to go there, is that there is a lack of human connection. Human connections are getting, you know, completely dissolved, you know. And in this world of AI and this world of whatever, we have to now try to build back these human connections. So if it is, we're fine, we're connected more to a world that's an alternate reality rather than what I actually have in front of you. Obviously, you will see lots of things that need to change, lots of things you're not happy with, but you would not be able to have that connection to say, okay, let's do this change together, maybe. You know what I mean?
But if open communication is already placed between you two, I think it will be much easier, especially if both of you are open-minded, open heart, open communication. Listen, this is on the table, I'm not happy about blah, 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 and you have taken it so far, although I have spoken to you multiple times and nothing has happened. So what do you think about it?
Yeah, but that's the thing, it's for me, it's about planting seeds. Planting seeds and creating the environment for change.
Instead of being obvious, you mean?
You can't always be obvious. You have to be obvious. To me, is like when the time is right. You can't address every conversation when he walks in the door or when whatever.
No,
you understand what I mean?
You can't be too particular about things. You know, I don't like the way you sit. I don't like the way you're holding your phone. I don't like the way you're holding the spoon.
Or the way you breathe.
Or the way you breathe. You're making this... There's a noise coming from your nose, you know? There's a whistle, what do you call it?
What is that? Oh, it's exhalation. Oh, sorry about that.
Yeah, but I mean,
this is too much.
No, but
right?
in a relationship, things will drive you nuts. And sometimes when your own headspace is in a bad space, everything can look bad and everything could be annoying, right?
I think though that the little things that annoy us are indicative of not addressing the big things.
Exactly.
And I think that truly, I really think that, you know, if you're on the same page, if you genuinely love each other, if you really want the same things, if you're going in the same direction and you're as committed to each other as you believe you are, then there's many opportunities to...
I like what you said, commitment.
Yes,
There's
to change internally, because I genuinely want to be a good person, a kind person. I don't have any bad intention towards anybody. So in my relationships and in my family, I'd like it to be a safe, kind space, and yet sometimes I'm not met with that. If that's the case, that I'm not met with that reciprocal kind of energy, then I'm going to close up and I may not speak. And then the distance between the conversations is longer, and the changes...
See, that can happen to me. If I don't feel the environment is quite welcoming and open, I will have internal fear of
opening up.
Yeah.
Because as soon as I open up, I might be slammed.
But that is why I say it comes back to planting the seeds and creating the environment, right? Because if someone is not comfortable in really diving deep, first of all within themselves, and then having to express that with someone to know that I would not be judged in this situation, or I would not be, you know, tossed to the curb or whatever it is, right? But you have to plant the seeds that say that. And when I say planting seeds, is that you know that this is what they're struggling with. You drop little hints that it's okay to talk about it, you know, like, oh, I met so-and-so today and they were talking about their husband who da-da-da-da-da, you know, and
they can still refuse. You don't know.
You know what I mean?
You don't know.
Yeah, but I mean, it's still, you plant the seeds wherever you think
when
that
you plant these seeds, do you have any expectations? Because
There's
if you
no
are coming with expectations and the guy disappoints you,
so
then
it's
it's going to be a flip of a drama.
No, but I think it's not about the expectations.
But if you don't have any expectations, just throwing the seeds and hoping for the best.
It's not my job to get my partner to open up. It's not my job to do it. You understand what I mean? It's just that my job is to create the space If I do my best at creating space and it still doesn't happen, then maybe the space I've created is not the best space, or maybe I'm doing it wrong, right? Maybe
would
my
you seek help
thing is wrong.
if it's not working? Would you seek
That's
help?
the thing. So I think it depends on the
So
level.
if you can't change him, would you seek help?
No, but why do I want to change him, and what do I want to change? You know, it depends, right? If I know this is a really destructive problem, you know, if we're dealing with drugs or we're dealing with something that's really destructive,
Going to break your marriage.
yeah, that is going to break,
or, you know, your relationship.
Then I mean, you should seek help at some point. The thing is with help is that if you are not open to receiving help, you might be open to receiving help, but he's not open to receiving help.
That's a good one. Would you, Teresa?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Would you go and seek help if it's not working?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Oh my goodness, I mean, I'd be out of a job if people didn't go and seek help. You know, yeah, no, I definitely would go and seek help, and it would be objective third party help, unemotional and very clear, so that we could dump the emotions at the door or bring them with us and have them managed for us and talk about it. But it's a 50-50.
But it's a
you
good
don't
thing
get couples
to get some outside view as well. You know, sometimes when you say things, and that's what happens. It's like sometimes your clients speak and reveal things to you, but you know they are not seeing it the way you are seeing it. You're seeing it from a different lens.
And that's extremely important, what you've just said, because for me, it's almost like when you're walking around the house and you're in your environment at home and you're in your couple or your marriage or your family, interpretation. So I can see you with a particular facial expression, and I'm going to interpret as poor Abby, and Abby's just concentrating, you know. And I'm thinking, oh, the poor guy, he looks so sad, and he's having a great time thinking about the conversation he had with his brother yesterday or something. But my interpretation, and so my whole behaviour comes out of that interpretation. And when you've got people who are misinterpreting without actually finding out what's going on,
without confirming,
then your whole
again,
behaviour,
open communication. But again, you have to remember, when people are struggling, they're not very open to open communication, and that's something you have to give them.
And they may
their
be very
space.
guarded from the very beginning, and they're hiding it, like the alcoholic fellow who just did not have the courage to say to his wife, I have a drinking problem, and didn't even really think he had a drinking problem.
No, not only that too, I mean, they may have this fear, you know, sometimes we hold on to, I want this person anyway, you know what I mean? So sometimes
I want him no matter what, so I'll just make this work, which means I'll change him.
Or whatever it is, right? You know, and so we have to have that reasonable expectation with ourselves, and even before marriage, I mean, you have to be clear. And, you know, and just have some baseline values that might connect.
What if you are young and you've never been married and you have no experience about this person or that person, and you don't know if you can change the person? You've never been in life before. This is not reincarnation, you know.
Just pray. There's nothing to offer but prayers.
No, what I'm saying is you can seek help and you can ask another person. Second opinion is always good. What do you think of this person who I might get married
of course.
to?
You need to ask. I mean,
you
I
can't
think
close the
good.
door and say, you know what, you know, I'm transmitting blind here, and hopefully somebody will respond. No, as Teresa said, you know what, I'm gonna change him. But the change is not happening.
It depends on, you know, we all go into relationships to get something.
Many things,
all of us, and we manipulate our environment to get what we want, and that could be a person as well. So, you know, there's a lot that's about me in this question that you've asked, not so much the partner. You know, why would I need to change them? As Dr. Farah very well said, what do I feel like I need that I'm only relying on you to give me? And is that
exactly? And is that fair? Is it
that
fair
even possible or fair?
Put your expectation on somebody who might not be able to deliver, right? And that's it's about their personal capacity, and if they're not there yet, that's very unfair of you to expect something of them that they can't deliver at this point in time.
Completely.
Right. I need a short answer. Can I change my partner?
I don't think you should change your partner. It's not your job to change your partner.
Teresa, can I change my partner?
I don't. I agree. I don't think it's my job to change them, and I don't think I want to change them, because then I'm responsible for the outcome.
Okay. Well, I need to hear from you. Can I change my partner? Should I change my partner? Should I be thinking to change my partner before marriage, during marriage, before relationship, during the relationship, or after the relationship? Do I have the right? Can I say something about it? Can I tell him? Do I want to hold into that relationship as much as I can and then lose the power of a grip and then fall? What should I do? Tell us, please. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Bye-bye now.